Hello and welcome to an off-day episode of Clark and Addison Born into the Ivy. I'm your host David, and we are here to do a top 25 countdown today of the top 25 pitching seasons of the last 25 years. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen here. Wrong thing. I tried to get the layout set up right away, but it didn't want to. So, top 25 pitching seasons of the last 25 years. So, since 2001. Number 25 on the list was Ted Lilly, who had a 3.8 WAR with a 3.83 ERA. I'm sorry. This is from the 2007 season when the team went 85-77. His FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, is 4.16, so a little bit higher than the ERA, obviously. 207 innings, which doesn't happen much anymore. 15-8 overall, 34 games. He had a 7.57 K per nine and only walked 2.39 batters. His whip, which is walks per hits and innings pitched, was 1.14 with a SIERA of 4.07. Just a really good, solid season. There was quite a few different seasons that I went back and forth about. Probably about 6 or 7 from 22. I could have gone down to 28, 29. So I really kind of struggled with them. I voted on them. I have my wife helped me, my buddy Jason helped me, and my nephew Peyton, who is a big Cub fan, he helped me out with it as well. So, on number 24 from 2011 season, Sean Marshall, one of the few relief pitching seasons on this list. He was absolutely dominating, and that's without even being the closer. He had a 2.6 WAR that season with a 2.26 ERA, a FIP of 1.86, 75 and two-thirds innings in 78 games. He went 6-6 with 5 saves. He struck out 9.4 per 9 and walked 2.02. His whip was 1.1 and his SIERA was 2.19. The team, however, did not have a great season at 71-91, and Marshall was traded soon after all this. He was absolutely dominating and electric, though, man. Number 23 on the list from 2006 season, Carlos Zambrano. The team was terrible, even worse than in 2011, but bounced back the next year. Big Z, the team was 66-96. Big Z had a 3.9 WAR, though. 3.41 ERA. His FIP was 4.14, and the SIERA was 4.39. Both those things kind of indicate that he probably ran into a little bit of luck, but he also pitched 214 innings, went 16-7 in 33 games, had an 8.83 ERA, and a 4.84 walks per 9, which is pretty high. But I think that probably plays into the little bit of luck part of that. His whip was 1.29, also a bit high. But Big Z, he was very underrated. He never had like the top-notch seasons that Kerry Wood or Mark Pryor, but he was much more consistent for a longer time than either of those guys throughout his time with the Cubs. And I don't think it's remembered correctly the way he should because of that. Number 22 on this list was from 2024, Shota Imanaga, a 3.1 WAR, 2.91 ERA, 3.72 FIP, and a 3.5 SIERA, also indicating that he had some luck involved in that season. 173 and a third innings, 29 total games, went 15-3 though. Struck out just over 9 batters per 9 innings, and only walked 1.45. His whip was 1.02, which is incredibly good. The team went 83-79. As a team, we were all pretty discouraged by that. We thought that they would be better for sure. But Shota did his part. And then obviously last year had his bounce back where he wasn't as great. But in 2024, he was an absolute excellent pitcher. From 2019, number 21 on the list is Kyle Hendricks with a 4.1 WAR, 3.46 ERA, and a 3.61 FIP. His Sierra was a bit higher at 4.38. In 30 games, he had 177 innings and went 11-10. Kyle has never struck out a ton of batters, but he's always limited the walks. He only walked 1.63 in 9, struck out 7.63, which is pretty solid for him. And his whip was a bit higher than I would have thought for that season at 1.13. Team went 84-78 in 2019, which was obviously very disappointing for what we expected with that team. Kyle is another one who is always much better than, or for a good long stretch, than I think that people want to remember, except like diehard fans. In 2010, number 20 on this list, Carlos Marmol, 2.7 WAR, a 2.55 ERA, a FIP of 2.01, and a Sierra of 2.34. In 77 and 2/3 innings, 77 games, he went 2-3 with 38 saves, the most saves since then. Like, nobody's topped that mark since 2010. Carlos was an excellent, excellent pitcher that I think gets forgotten about as to how great he was. Number 19 on the list from 2002 was Kerry Wood, 3.6 WAR, 3.66 ERA, and a 3.86 FIP. 213 innings, 213 and 2/3 innings, and 33 starts. He went 12-11, struck out 9.14 K per 9, walked 4.09, but that was part of, Kerry was effectively wild, so to speak. And his whip was 1.24. 67-95 for the team, though, which was obviously rather disappointing. And number 18 on the list from 2016 was Jake Arrieta. Jake had a 3.5 WAR, a 3.10 ERA, and a 3.52 FIP. His Sierra was a bit higher at 3.94. In 31 games, he had 197 and a third innings, 18-8 record, though. He struck out 8.67, walked 3.47, and had a whip of 1.08. Sierra was 3.94. The team in 2016, obviously we all know, that was the season, boys and girls. They went 103-58, won the championship and the World Series. So, an excellent season. Not Jake's best season by any means. You'll see a couple more of his seasons later on. Number 17 was 2001 version of Kerry Wood with a 3.9 WAR. In 28 games, he had 174 and a third innings pitched, a 3.36 ERA, and a 3.51 FIP. Sierra didn't exist at that point. So, it started in 2002. Kerry struck out an amazing 11.2 batters per 9 innings that season. He did walk 4.75 batters, though, too, with a whip of 1.26. Number 16 on the list from 2001 was John Lieber with a 4.4 WAR in 34 starts. He had 232 and a third innings, an ERA of 3.8, FIP 3.79. The team went 88-74. Obviously, Lieber and Wood, same season. Both pitchers led that team to a very good record that just barely missed the playoffs, unfortunately. But a very good 1-2 punch between those guys. John never struck out a ton of batters. He only had 5.73 that year, but he never walked batters either. He didn't put a whole lot of batters on, was only just over 1.5 walks per 9 innings. And number 15 in 2005 was Carlos Zambrano. He had a 4.2 WAR with a 3.26 ERA, 3.7 FIP with a Sierra of 3.71, so pretty similar in those categories. In 33 starts, he had 223 and a third innings. He went 14-6, struck out just over 8 batters, walked almost 3.5, a whip of 1.5. The team, again, did not do great at 79-83. Number 14 on the list In the 2003 season, Kerry Wood, with a 4.2 WAR and 32 starts, went 211 innings, 14 and 11, which I don't think indicates exactly how, like, his Kerry was really great that season. He struck out 11.35 batters, led the league with that per nine, had a 4.27 walk per nine, and then the whip at 1.19, which was excellent for Kerry at that time. His FIP and SIERA were a bit higher than ERA, but not by much. So at least the SIERA wasn't by much. Kerry, it was an excellent season for him, in which he helped lead the team to a playoff berth, along with Big Z, who we'll talk about in a minute. In 2002, though, Matt Clement is number 13 on this list with a 4.7 WAR for a very bad 67 and 95 Cubs team. The ERA was 3.56, a FIP at 3.34, and a SIERA at 3.43. 205 innings and 32 starts. He was 12 and 11, but struck out 9.44 batters per 9 innings and walked 3.73 with a 1.2 whip. Big Z, again, the third time on this list for this guy, at number 12 in 2003, had a 4.7 WAR, 3.11 ERA, and a 3.47 FIP. In 32 starts, he had 214 innings, 13-11, and you see the rest. I'm not going to keep going through all that all the time, but you see how dominating he was for the team that year. I went past number 11 for Carlos Zambrano. His fourth time on the list, boys and girls. In 2004, he had a 4.7 WAR again, an ERA that was so much better at 2.75, a FIP at 3.57, and SIERA at 3.93. He went 16 and 8 that year in 31 starts and 209 and 2/3 innings. The team was even better than in 2003, but they just missed the playoffs at 89 and 73. Number 10 on the list is Mr. Ryan Dempster at 4.8 WAR in 2008. He helped lead the team to a playoff berth at 97 and 64, 2.96 ERA, 3.41 WHIP, a 3.8 SIERA, 17 and 6. Doesn't strike out a ton, but was very, very good with it. Walked a few more batters than he would like, but he helped manage that quite a bit. It was Ryan's probably career year that year. Number 9 on the list, 2020, Yu Darvish. So these numbers are going to look a little smaller, but if you remember, there was only 60 games in the 2020 season. Yu Darvish started 12 games, so he went to the rubber every time he was asked to. Had a 2.01 ERA, a FIP of 2.23, and a SIERA 3.14. He went 8-3, led the league in wins, struck out 11 batters, only walked 1.66 per 9 inning, had a whip of 0.96. The team went 34 and 26, won the division, and made the playoffs. Number 8 is Matt Garza. In the 2011 season, the team went 71 and 91, but Matt Garza had a 4.7 WAR. In 31 starts, 198 innings, he went 10 and 10 with a 3.32 ERA and a FIP of 2.95 and a SIERA 3.31. Number 7 on the list is Justin Steele from the 2023 season. He had a 4.8 WAR, broke out as a stud for the current rotation, went 16 and 5 that year in 30 starts, 173 and a third innings, struck out 9.14 batters, but walked less than 2 per 9 innings. Justin was absolutely amazing. If he can stay healthy, I can't wait to watch what he continues to do in his career. Number 6 on the list was John Lester's first year with the team. The Cubs went 97 and 65, did not win the division, but did make the wild card. He had a 4.9 WAR, went 11 and 12 in 32 starts for 205 innings. If you remember right, John Lester started out a little shaky early on in that season, but he really settled down and had some really great numbers for the season. Absolutely dominated, just like we all love and want to see. Number 5, we're down to the top 5 now, boys and girls. Number 5 was Kyle Hendricks from 2016 super season. He had a 4.2 WAR as the team went 103-58, as we all know. His ERA was a dominating 2.13. His FIP and SIERA are indicators of the fact that he just doesn't strike out a ton. That was a high for him, 8 Ks per 9. But I think that that's part of that. He also allowed a lot of contact, but he didn't allow a whole lot of hard contact. He went 16-8, 190 innings. Just a great, great season for Kyle Hendricks. I'm not going to go up all the way with these yet because I want to hide the top 2. So, number 4 was 2016 season, Jon Lester. I know John's WAR was higher, but I felt like everything else was more dominating for him that year. He did not strike out quite as many, and he walked a few more, but his whip, he didn't allow as many runs or batters. He went 19-5, 202 thirds innings, 202 and 2/3 in 32 starts, an ERA of an 2.44, almost a whole run less than the season from 2015. Jon Lester was an absolute stud and helped carry that team. He was the rock that really carried it. But those 3 guys, Jon Lester, Kyle Hendricks, and Jake Arrieta, they were an excellent, excellent threesome. And 3 aces in their own right. Number 3 from the 2014 season was Jake Arrieta, who had a 5.3 WAR. The team went 73-89. It was right before they really started to take off. This is after they had picked him up and from Baltimore. And what a trade that was that the Cubs made to get him and Pedro Strop. He had an ERA of 2.53, a FIP of 2.26, and a SIERA of 2.83. He went 10-5 in 25 starts for 156 and 2/3 innings. Struck out over 9.5 batters per 9, walked less than 2.5 batters per 9, and had a whip of .99. Yep, I'm not going to be able to hide the number 1. So that's okay. Number 2 on the list. I went back and forth a little bit between these guys because Pryor's WAR was insanely high. That 2003 pitching staff with Pryor, Wood, and Big Z, and Matt Clement, they were all really, really good as well. But Mark Pryor was by far the stud of that, for that season at least. 7.8 WAR, 2.43 ERA, a 2.47 whip, a 2.82 SIERA. The dude went 18-6 in 30 starts, struck out almost 10.5 batters per 9, and walked less than 2.25 per 9, at 2.13. His whip was 1.10. But I don't think it was quite as dominating as the 2015 season from Jake Arrieta, who had a 7 WAR. I think it should have been higher looking at these numbers. I don't quite understand why it wasn't, but that's okay. The team went 97-65. Again, won the wild card. He pitched that wild card game against Pittsburgh and dominated that team. I mean, dominated that in that game. He had a 1.77 ERA, a 2.35 whip, or FIP, a 2.75 SIERA. Hit 33 starts, 229 innings. Probably got a little bit overworked. He and Madden have both talked about that a little bit. More Madden. The team went 22-6, or Jake went 22-6 in his starts. 22-6. Won the Cy Young. The last Cub to win the Cy Young, and the only one since Greg Maddux before he signed with the Braves. Had a 9.28 K per 9. Wasn't quite as great there, but his walks were even better by almost a quarter at 1.89. His whip was an insane 0.86, and that didn't lead the league. Zach Greinke had a lower whip than he did. That was crazy to me. And same with the ERA. Zach Greinke had a lower ERA than 1.77. Jake Arrieta had an absolutely record-breaking, dominating second half in 2015 and was absolutely incredible. Threw a no-hitter, threw 116, or 16. Absolutely amazing, Jake Arrieta. That was by far the top season, and I would say it's probably going to be one of the best seasons in the whole history of the Cubs. That's something that I will probably look at some point again. But I enjoyed doing it for the last 25 years and breaking that down. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please leave some comments. Tell me where you think I messed up with my rankings. Should Pryor have been number one instead of Jake? I really don't think so, but I'm interested in hearing if anybody thinks so. So, everybody have a great day, and let's go Cubs.